7 Item Stone, this is my review of 𝘄·𝘁𝗰𝗵𝗶, 𝘄·𝘁𝗰𝗵𝗶 the first formal entry for Yu-Gi-Oh card game The Chronicles, a project by Konami Animation marketed as a promotional short anime series, where rather than making a show about protagonists who use the cards to save the day, Konami is animating the characters or duel monsters depicted on the cards themselves. It was surveyed by Konami and people voted for what they wanted to see first from The Chronicles, and here we are starting off with a retelling of the Sky Striker story. As far as where these cards started, Raye and Rose, the majority of Sky Striker cards themselves started releasing in 2018, starting with Raye and Rose in 2019 and on. Their lore was published in Master Guidebook 6 at the start of 2019. Now, the guidebook gave us a surface-level understanding of the Sky Striker's lore with short descriptions and brief setup. Guidebooks are more focused on card info and strategies with only subtle lore dumps. It wasn't until 2022 when the majorly successful Yu-Gi-Oh! OCG Stories manga released and enriched the Sky Striker story. With a writing and illustration team led by Shin Yoshida and Naoto Mayoshi, with Yoshida as the head writer. He's one of the biggest influences in Yu-Gi-Oh's writing since the beginning of the Duel Monsters anime, and he was able to successfully expand on what is now known to be the Sky Striker's burden. The same title that Konami gave to the Master Duel Solo Mode Gate, which turned this anime into a piece of transmedia storytelling. Because the Master Duel Solo Mode Gates typically have scenarios that give us a little bit of backstory lore to cards in between duels a player clears, but the Master Duel February 6 update took things to the next level with Sky Strikers by including 3 fully animated cutscenes, which nobody expected and was awesome. In addition to that, Konami created a webpage for the Chronicles that included a prologue for the Sky Striker's burden in case you didn't have time to play Master Duel. Altogether, as a package, this served as a prelude to the first episode, and the 3 animations from the gate were uploaded to YouTube by fans, and for people who didn't play Master Duel, they saw it as just an epic 4-minute and 20-second standalone trailer for the first episode, rather than how it was really supposed to be consumed as an in-game device to give some better context, which kind of led to confusion when people watched the first episode, and the community became highly critical of this project after it premiered, with the biggest complaints being its runtime and structure. And as much as I agree with the fact that this could have been more of a fleshed out series with longer episodes, this project is a great leap forward in Yu-Gi-Oh! As a whole, and I think that these episodes are part of a bigger vision that we as fans can't really see right now after just the first episode. In fact, I have a full-blown badass theory of the endgame for the Chronicles, but more about that later. Let's get into the review of Sky Striker Ace 1, Sky Striker Ace Raye. So I expected a more intricate beginning, but we start off with a basic 5-second Konami animation title screen, and there's 4 more splash screens in this as well as the credits. And every second counts, and I wish that was cut down because our first shot leads us to believe that Rose is back in 𝘄·𝘁𝗰𝗵𝗶, which is where confusion started for people who saw the original solo mode animations from the in-game trailer, where we saw Rose going berserk in the city with Raye trying to save her from destroying everything and herself. Instead, we're back in a desert setting, possibly on the outskirts of the city, and in the trailer, we saw Raye pin 𝘄𝘁𝗏 against a tower, and remember this, she pinned 𝘄𝘁𝗏 against a tower in the city, where she quickly retrieved Rose's body before activating Sky Striker Ace linkage, preparing to face off with a team of surgical strikers at the end of the trailer. But again, it appears Rose is back and Raye has to do it all over again, which people joked about. Speaking of, here she comes looking for that get back. Raye comes flying in with her inside the ship this time, activating Engage and getting in the zone before she gracefully leaps into battle. And if you notice, she's much calmer than how we saw her in the trailer, where she came in angry face, ghost riding the whip instead of being inside, and was very aggressive right from the jump, rushing into Gagari mode, just differences I noticed. Then it cuts to the second title sequence Yu-Gi-Oh card game, The Chronicles, which is a cool visual overall. The Yu-Gi-Oh card back is an icon itself and always stuck out as a unique design trait, like a swirling vortex or portal to another world. Even in Yu-Gi-Oh! Zexal, they expand on it during a point in the story. It was definitely a choice, though, to stick this here instead of the very beginning. Personally, I like how they did it in the manga with the card back opening up like a literal doorway into the Sky Striker's world on page 1. Very cool detail, but here, Digital Vortex works just as good. Nothing to waste too much time thinking about like I did. Cutting back to Raye free-falling with the actual title of the episode overlaid as she activates Gagari mode, and again, she seems much more focused here than how she was in the trailer. At this point, I'm really wondering if this is a separate attempt of Raye saving Rose, with Raye seeming more focused and determined this time to get Rose out of Zeke. But an onslaught of drones comes from behind Zeke trying to attack Raye, but she cuts through them like butter. She then swiftly makes her way over to Zeke to deliver the final strike to save Rose. And this is a weird point in the episode where this face-off right here, this standoff, actually pushes Raye to have flashbacks of the original animations that we saw at the Tokyo Dome with her in base mode against Rose, and also flashes back to the in-game trailer, one of the scenarios where they were on top of the tower fighting it out. I guess to focus in on the phenomenon that happens with Raye's eyes when she turns. So Raye gets tired of this crap and says, "Limiter off, time to go ham, activate maneuver, afterburner," I think, right? Kagari goes crazy. Look at that afterburner effect. Goes ham on Zeke and straight up just burns through him and cut. I don't know if it's a him, but technically it's her. It's Rose. And she, look at Raye goes nuts. Okay, she goes absolutely insane. Cuts Zeke in half. Like, holy crap, she cuts him in half. She cuts it in half. It's a robot. It's a giant mech. So here she is, standing outside, looking for Rose, and there she is. She gets in there, startled, saying, "Wake up, please open your eyes, Rose. Please open your eyes." And then she picks her up because Rose is not responsive. Then Raye and Rose make their way out. Rose finally says something, faintly whispers Raye's name. Raye's like, "I'm so glad you're back, it's all okay now." And this part is where I get confused. You know, she says, "I kept hearing your voice." Rose says she kept hearing your voice. And also the most confusing line of this is at the very end where Rose says, "Where you are, it felt different from the machines," which I have no idea what that means. I don't know if that's a mistranslation or whatever, but it happened. If anybody knows, please let me know, because I would like to make better sense of this line right here, because we are not sure if we're getting this English dub or translated or whatever, so we're gonna have to take the YouTube captions for now. And here we are, unfortunately, already at the end credits for the first episode, a little splash screen of Raye. I guess they gotta remind you where this all comes from. It's a card. Then a splash screen for Konami Animation, then another one for regular Konami. Precious seconds that we could have had for more anime scenes. Now, final thoughts and things I want to point out right away is one, Raye's and Rose relationship. Okay, this is a very weird thing for people looking on the outside who are not aware of what happened in the manga, where this whole thing about these two kind of being into each other when they're teenage girls, you know, this is ridiculous. That whole thing was just a single moment, like a single panel where Raye did hug Rose, and Rose was such a shut-in, such an anti-social robot, basically. She was not used to the emotions. She's like, what the hell is this? So that's what that was. And I guess it was overblown by sickos in the community, okay? And honestly, I think Konami played into that, unfortunately, here, making it seem like some weird teenage lesbian thing going on, which, you know, that's not what this is about. That's not what the Sky Strikers are about. Sky Strikers, you know, within the manga, you know, these two thought they were the only humans left on the world. And when Raye realized that there was another human like Rose that was just like her, that's when Raye decided to take on this mission of hers to save Rose and figure out what is going on in this world, which that makes for a great and epic story, and is supposed to call to the human spirit, right? The Sky Strikers live in a post-human era. A lot of people in this time currently that I'm talking about real life, you know, the AI takeover, people really worry about this happening because the elites of the world, they believe this, not me. They don't want that many humans left. They just want to be served by robots and that's it. That's crazy. So that's why the Sky Striker story really calls to me. I'm into the sci-fi thing. I'm into conspiracy and stuff, and you know, Shin Yoshida did a pretty good job setting this whole story up with him and his team. But here we have two separate teams for Konami Animation, and it looks like one for the animation studio and one for Master Duel. And you can notice the animations are different. They even make it clear on Konami Animation's website too, showing all the names and everybody involved with all the different teams, which I'm sure they all work together. And I'm sure they've consulted with Shin Yoshida, but I do not see him directly credited in any of those. So that's interesting right there. And again, with bringing up the manga, the characters from in the manga, you know, Raye has a whole parental setup. She has like little siblings, I guess you could say. Rose has her whole faction, and there's just way more characters involved with the Sky Striker story. And I hope for episode 2 we get to see some, which during the making of this review, they released a teaser for episode 2 on X. And it legit shocked me, okay? We see Rose falling back, horrified, into darkness, into 𝘄𝘁𝗃, right? She falls into the recesses of her mind, into the primordial waters, it looks like, and then all of a sudden it just makes her nude because, you know, this is like anime, you know, again, that's a critique right there. Why are they doing this? She's like 15. Okay, don't focus on that, all right? But I'm just saying, it's a weird choice. You know, you didn't have to do that, but I guess for the effect, it is making me wonder, why did they even do that? What is the point of this? You know, I think there might be some point in the manga, if I can remember, that, like, she does freak out and recess into her mind like this, and she transforms. I'm pretty sure it does happen, like, yeah. But seeing it animated like this, it's shocking. But again, it does make me wonder, what are they doing? Like, are they doubling back? Are they going back and saying what we did see didn't happen? Or did it happen? Or are they doing it again? What is going on with this? So, it did pique my interest into episode 2, which, by the time of you watching this, has already been released. So, I wonder if what I'm saying in this video is right on to where them showing her back in 𝘄𝘃, in idle mode, is saying that we're seeing weird things going on with like memory erasure or something like that, and we're seeing the same events happen multiple times. Something like that. Very interesting. The action was great. Obviously, aura farming from Raye is top tier here. You know, the action speaks for itself. It's great animation. You know, again, different from what we saw in-game, but still really good. It's such good music. I mean, the scoring for this is outstanding. Yu-Gi-Oh! Music has only gotten better through the years and through the games and through the anime. It's just probably one of its shining traits. And pretty good voice acting from the Japanese voice actresses. Hopefully we see more dialogue in the next episode again, and also hopefully this does lead to something bigger, like these all are collectively leading to like a movie or something. Chronicles the movie, right? Yu-Gi-Oh! Card Game Chronicles the movie, and that's why everything is so short here. We don't have time, we got to get into the action, we got to figure out who these characters are, really short stat, you know, then we're on to Fall into Valbaz, and then who knows where we're going, right? Is there some ultimate enemy everybody's gonna join up in at the end and face? Who knows? See you in the next one. 𝘄𝘁𝗵𝗶.